With that in mind, I want to talk about two groups that are often overlooked in the conversation, certainly in the eastern part of the United States, as we talk about race and ethnicity. And those two groups are Asian Americans and mixed race Americans. So we're going to take half the class talking about Asian Americans, and we're going to take half the class talking about mixed race Americans. And what I want to do is bring some folks up to the front, and I want to have the conversation, or I want them to say the things that I understand to be true in the Asian American community, not the Asian community, the Asian American community. Although it's very complex, there are many different groups, many different people, many different experiences. But I think that it will be really valuable to hear from your classmates about some of the things. So listen, man. Do you consider yourselves, do you want me to get more specific? Do you consider yourselves a minority? Like we use people of color. In this class, I often say people of color. I talk about white people, black people, brown people. So you're just brown people. Like, where are you? What are you thinking? What goes through your minds? What are the issues?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So by my model minority, I feel like I benefit from the privileges and sort of like my family backing me up and giving me a lot of resources to do well in school and to get really good jobs. But at the same time, I identify, because I am not white, I identify with a lot of like Black and Hispanic people and their struggles and the discriminations they face, and some of the we feel transgressions too. We're treated bad too in certain ways that aren't talked about. And so when I hear Black people discuss it, or when I hear Hispanic people discuss it, I really relate to it.
So how do you relate? Like, what can you say more about that? And could anybody else speak to that? When you say you relate?
So a big topic I hear about is fetishization, and especially of Asian women, and I know it goes across a lot of races. So that's something, when I hear it, I get mad, and I identify with a lot of people like that. What else do I hear? When people tell us to speak English, or they assume that we're really foreign or something like that, or when job recruiters think I'm from China, so they're like, oh, do you need sponsorship? That's sort of a transgression or a microaggression. Can
somebody else speak to that, by the way? Yeah, bro.
It's interesting because we're in like a rare position where, well, at least I feel this way, that where we are people of color, but we don't experience the same privileges as the majority groups. So it's a position where you have to just ally with the marginalized groups inside the people of color without directly being affected by them. So
okay, so when I look at when I look at you compared to these two guys, right? How do you, within the community, do you all see to what degree do you see yourselves as one single group? Like Asians, do you ever see that, or do you see yourselves as different?
I think it's different for Indians, just because I guess we look kind of different.
Really close.
So it's kind of like its own distinct group. Like when you said have some Asian students up here, like there was still a little question in my mind. Like, does he mean Indians, or does he mean just that part of Southeast Asia? So I guess that's what sets them apart from people of my ethnic group.
So people who are Indians, Pakistanis, let's say, Sri Lankans, etc. So sometimes if someone says Asian, you don't immediately put yourself in that category?
Like for a lot of us, it's like, yeah, we are Asian, but we don't know if a white person asking for an Asian means an Asian like me, or an Asian like everyone in Asia.
Got you. Okay, got you. Do you consider him Asian? No?
I feel Asian is...
No, wait, hang on. No, this is not, there's no right or wrong. No, but listen. No, but this is, what I want you all to do, and then we definitely are going to talk about you. We're going to talk to everybody in a second. Right down here, we're with these guys. So this is what I want to learn. I want to learn how, what I want you to teach the class is how the Asian community in the United States, Asian Americans, walk through these issues. So you're saying you don't consider him Asian, right off the top of your head.
Yeah. So geographically, Asia spans from from like China all the way to Middle East, all the way to Turkey and Russia.
Yep.
So would we consider them Asians geographically per se? And also I've met a lot of Indian people who say they don't want to be associated with East Asian people. Like they don't want people to associate them with Chinese or like Korean people or so. They want to be known as Southeast Asian or like South Asian.
Uh-huh. Okay, I got you. So if you have to fill out a form and and the only possibility is Asian, you just put that down, but it's not the first thing you would put?
Yeah, for me, it's just like, I guess there's so many different cultures, and like the mainstream Asian culture kind of like differs from Indian culture. So culture, I feel like it's like, I wouldn't say like jump off the bat and say I'm Asian, but like I like specify Indian. Just
Okay.
as, like,
Okay, got you. All right, man. All right, let's keep going, man. So let me just talk to the two of you for a second. Growing up, adopted, right? Give us what's the cool about that? What would you like the world to know as you walk through the world? Your ancestry, your DNA is from East Asia. Wait, hang on. It's from Vietnam, and you from China, right? Your DNA admixture is from this part of the world, but yet here you are, and you both grew up in white families. What would you like the world to know about your experience?
Honestly, like 99% of the time, I don't think about my ancestry or the fact that I'm Asian because I'm surrounded by white people 100% of the time usually. So it's not really a big thing in my family. It was more so like when I was younger, my parents tried to like, tie me to my roots of being Chinese. So they kind of, shared a little bit of the Chinese ancestry and history. So I know like a little Chinese history, and I know some people around where I grew up that are of Chinese descent. But like most of the time, my friends forget I'm Asian. I don't really think about it on a day-to-day basis because I don't really consider myself like part of the Chinese community here because I'm not like racially I'm Chinese, but ethnically I'm not.
So how are you? Yeah, exactly. So you don't consider yourself Chinese American
No.
or Asian American?
No, I don't. I consider myself American. I've had Chinese citizenship for like 16 months of my life, and that was it.
Yep. So you're American. Do you ever think? Have you ever referred to yourself as white Americans?
No.
Just American.
No, because I know I'm not white, but like.
No, because I asked that because I have a lot of students who are of Asian ancestry and many who are adopted who grow up even calling themselves white.
Yeah, I refer to myself to my friends and my family basically I'm white.
Got you.
My friends joke that I'm whiter than they are because I white, technically what white people things are.
Yeah.
But I don't look white, I guess is the only thing different.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. How about you? What would you?
I agree 100% with what Sarah just said. I was adopted at 6 months, so I have no ties to my ancestry or anything like that. My family is white, and my whole family is white, so I have no connection to the Asian community here on campus or anything. And I went to a predominantly white high school, so I consider myself an American. But on my thing, I mark Asian American because I have to.
So you identify as, the primary identification is American?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your friends are from what background?
They're mostly white.
Mostly white? Mm. And did your parents also try to keep you connected to Vietnamese culture?
I don't really remember when I was younger. I have a little brother, he's adopted too, and he's been more interested in his culture and everything. I have never really shown much interest, but they've always kept it an option. They want to take us back to Vietnam and everything. But they never were closed off about it.
Hang on one sec. Bro, zoom in a little tighter, okay? So, next question. I want people to see your smiling face. All right, so listen. Do you personally have any interest in Vietnamese culture?
Honestly, not really. Not like any offense to like that culture or anything. That's just not how I've grown up. And like I have more connections to my white family than I do my Vietnamese family because I was adopted like 6 months. I literally remember nothing. I wasn't even a Vietnamese citizen for more than a year.
And so let me ask you, like, do you have any connection? Do you feel like you want to have any connection to Chinese culture?
It's like I'm interested in the Chinese culture, but I don't connect myself to it. So like learning about it, I find it interesting, but I find it just as interesting as learning about African American culture. There's no special connection.
Right. Or Nigerian.
Yeah,
or
like it'd be just as cool to learn about Norwegian culture as it would Chinese culture. I find it interesting, but I have no like connection to like actually immerse myself in the culture. I did go back to China when I was younger.
Yeah.
On like a cultural trip, so like I did get to immerse myself. And it was cool, but like I don't speak the language, which I think for like Asian Americans is like one of the biggest barriers between connecting yourself with the culture because speaking the language is very difficult.
So, and there's no reason you should. So we're going to come back. There's no reason that the two of you should have any connection at all, right? It's like there's no reason that I should have any connection to, I don't know, Japanese culture, right? It's like it's as foreign to me. Like China is as foreign to you, and Vietnam is as foreign to you as Japan is as foreign to me. So like, why would you have any expectation at all? But that's the question that would often go there. Uh-huh. All right, cool. What is misunderstood about Asian Americans? What's most misunderstood?
That all of us like math.
Yeah.
I hate math. I like barely passed math 140. Dropped out of physics. When people come up to me thinking I can solve their like late stat like class problems, I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
But I guess it slightly is a microaggression against me, but it also helps me because people think I'm smart.
What do you mean by microaggression? What do you mean? Because I haven't used that word in this class.
It's like a slightly racist thing. It may not be intended to be bad, but it's just a comment that the recipient finds disturbing or racist, and they have to keep it to themselves.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, I got you. All right, so for you, people are asking you if you're good. Is that true for other people? Do people assume you're good at math? Yeah? Are you good at math?
I mean, in like high school, but like now my field doesn't really concern math that heavily, so like when I had to take it, I was pretty good at it, but like the second I got out of that class, I don't remember a single thing. It's like when my friends like ask me for help on it, I'm like, I cannot help you.
Yeah. Is that true of other? Are you too good at math, by the way? Yeah. Are you good at math? In high school, same thing? All right, so there it is. What else is misunderstood about Asians? You don't know? Do you got one, bro?
That Asians have bad hygiene.
Have bad hygiene?
Oh, yeah. Like, there's this huge...
Wait, is that just Indians? Or?
Indians, like, Indians, smelly, bad hygiene, all that stuff. Yeah.
Where's that come from?
People in India, I guess.
Maybe it's from, like, all the spices and stuff.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really know where it comes from, but, like, I can proudly say I have pretty solid hygiene.
Wait, hang on. Let me be the judge of that, right? Yeah, he's cool. All right. All right, cool. All right, there's one. What else? Yeah,
I think yellow fever and fetishization is is a pretty big thing for Asian women, and I feel like through a couple experiences and from a couple of my white friends, from some white people I've heard, they said they really like Asian girls. They think they're sexier or something. I've heard from black people say that Asian girls are also really sexy or something like that. It's like a trophy almost.
And Asian guys?
And Asian guys are just kind of nerds or just not looked at.
Asian men are, when we do research on dating apps and dating sites and like who is most likely to get attention from other people, is it swipe right? All right. Yeah, who gets swiped left the most, which is I'm not interested in, are Asian men.